G'day guys, welcome to another track guide thanks to SimRigs. This week for round 8 of the GT3 Fixed series, we're at Oulton Park and running the international layout. The in-sim time this week is the 7th of May and the time is about 1:40 PM. The track's actually quite warm, it's about 38 degrees in the generated weather settings in the testing that I've been doing. Still offers some pretty decent grip though, just got to be careful with that those hard accelerations out of some of those slower corners. This week for the video we're going to be trialling a different format. We'll be running a uninterrupted fast lap and then we'll do a brief video breakdown of that fast lap afterwards. So let's not waste any more time, let's get stuck into it and let's go into one of the fast laps. Alright guys, so we've done our fast lap, put down a lap. Now we'll do a brief little breakdown. We'll run in the far chase cam. It's pretty handy to be able to see sort of when the lights are coming on, where we're braking. Also we'll go through some of those braking markers, apex points, and just talk a little bit about the track. So the lap that we did that on the iRACING high downforce sprint setup that they'll be using for this week. But let's start this lap and have a little bit of a chat about it. So coming down the front straight, coming into turn 1, going to be braking probably 15 to 20 meters after that sign, the turn right sign for turn 1. You'll see the brake lights come on now. So what we want to do, we really don't want to apex too early. So looking for a late apex into turn 1. Otherwise we're going to be running off the track, definitely getting a 1x, and depends on how early we're turning in, we could be hitting that wall that's jutting out on the left hand side. Want to be careful of using too much of that AstroTurf. The 1x's are quite unreasonable there, so want to be thoughtful of that. Then coming down for the run into 2 and 3, obviously it's flat through 3. The braking point for turn 3 is the little divot in the road right here. So you'll see that when you're driving, there's actually a little drop in the height of the track. That's what I'm using as my braking marker, and it works well coming into turn 3. Turn 3 is also the same as 1. Don't want to apex too early. The sort of the runoff on turn 3 on the right hand side is again really unreasonable with off tracks, and doesn't seem very consistent either. So if we're turning in too early, we're definitely going to end up probably dropping a bit too many wheels off that right hand side and getting a 1x. So hard on the brakes, not wanting to turn in too early. Trail braked a little bit off the brakes, a little bit of understeer, a little bit of push, brought it back to the apex, apexing really late here, and still turning, trying not to use too much of that off track. Now for the run down into 4, really fast through 4. So I'm not braking, just rolling off the throttle and then straight back onto the throttle. You would have seen from from the input data from the fast lap. Now my braking point for coming into turn 5, the hairpin, is just before, there we go, just before the tyre walls ends on the left hand side. I find that works pretty well for actually getting the car pulled up, because you are carrying quite a lot of speed into that hairpin. Braking hard for the hairpin, getting the car stopped, then getting off the brakes as quick as we can, but wanting to be really careful on picking up the throttle here, keeping it as tight as possible, almost using it as a berm, and being, you're obviously wanting to pick that throttle up really early, but also you're turning as well. It's a little bit off camber. The car just wants to get away from you, so I want to be careful with that throttle pickup as well. Turn 6 is flat, easy flat. So probably halfway between that curve that we just touched and the first of the Britain's chicane, so 7, 8, 9, we want to be getting hard on the brakes. So this is actually quite a tricky little chicane. It really unsettles the car, taking a lot of that first left curb. Really bounces the car a lot, and then also can induce a little bit of locking. Obviously it does have ABS, but the bouncing around, the unweighting of the car, it can be hard to get it stopped and getting it turned for turn 8. So running the brakes pretty much all the way to the apex of 8, getting it off the brakes then, and then trying to feed the power back on as quick as possible on the exit of 9. Now coming into the Hislops chicane, braking pretty much on the 100-meter board, a little bit after. Again, quite a hard stop down into second gear for this, at least for the BMW it is. Not wanting to push out too wide when we're turning into 11, because it's going to make the run out of 12 really difficult. So trying to be smooth on the throttle, but also at this and maintain that corner speed and momentum, but not wanting to push out too wide, because it's going to be hard to get ourselves back to the left and then flick it back to the right hand side of the track. Easy on the throttle pickup here, and then getting hard on the throttle driving out of 12. 13 and 14 that are coming up are flat. 15 for Druid's Corner, so just a little bit before the change of colour in the asphalt is where I'm getting on the brakes and stopping for turn 15 for Druids. So just a little bit of trail braking, but then getting off the brakes and trying to be hard on the throttle all the way around 15, the sort of double apex almost. But not wanting to brake too late, because you're going to find yourself again off the track on the left hand side exiting 15 if you're braking too late for this. So what I found in my testing is that actually obviously not always braking later is going to help with your lap times, but definitely here rolling off that little bit early, you might see on your Delta, oh no, I've lost a little bit of time, but the amount of time you're going to gain out of the exit of the corner, because you can carry so much more speed through there. So off the brakes pretty early, and then hard on the power on the exit of 15. Another hard stop coming into 16, second last corner. We're going to be braking pretty much right at the sign pointing right for the last corner. You'll see the brake lights come on. Pretty much right on that sign. Now this is quite a tricky corner. So again, it's a corner you want a late apex. Want to be again, we're turning in too early. We're going to get a lot of grass on the left hand side, so it's pretty lenient with getting 1Xs, dropping a wheel off the track, but that doesn't really matter because you're going to be losing time, losing drive up the hill. So I want to be apexing late for turn 16. For the BMW, it's 5th gear down to 2nd, and then want to be really patient with picking up the throttle. The track's cambered. It's dropping down a little bit, so the car's a little bit unweighted, and it really wants to light the rear tires up. So it's really hard to actually get some decent traction and get a good drive out of 16 for the final run to the line. So you want to be late apexing, using all that available track on the left hand side to open up that corner. Hitting the apex, now starting to put that power on, but you can see the car starting to break traction. It's really hard to get a good traction out of 16s. You can see there a little bit of grass on the exit, but still not getting that 1x. And then the run to the line is turn 17 here, which is not really an anything corner, trying to keep close to the left hand side of the track to shorten that run to the line. And that's a lap of the Oulton Park with the international layout. I appreciate you guys jumping on board, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week for week 9 of the GT3 Fixed series.